upon a time there was truth in journalism, where brave men and women gave voice to the voiceless. But then the corporations bought the journalist, poisoning the news that we are fed. With those tainted sources, all we ever ate was a steady diet of status quo. This hijacked narrative is the truth of mass suffering, injustice and corruption throughout our land. Status quo, status quo, status quo, status quo. To expose this shift to oligarchy came a band of honest journalists. They left the studio and hit the streets to give the microphone back to the people. From sea to sea, the people were empowered to share their truth. Their voices no longer stifled, reclaimed their power. Join the media revolution now.
Hello everyone. How are you? I hope that everybody is having a happy Halloween. This is going to be temporary, but it's Halloween. This is what I'm supposed to do. Of course. Let's put on a little magic. Taking it off. That's very hot. How is everybody today in Magic Land, in everything that is going on? How is everybody's Halloween mornings? I'm sure the people with kids are getting their kids, like their kids are in school, but they're getting their kids ready to go trick-or-treating later on. Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. I love it. I love it. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. Jordan is not back with a tan. It's just me, Joseph, for the second day in a row. Jordan will be back on Monday, and he will be ready to go. Revitalized, relaxed, feeling great, I hope. He should be. And in the meantime, you have to deal with little old me. We're going to get into a few things. Definitely, we're going to get into some things about Bernie Sanders. I'm just going to touch on something that Jordan touched on the other day, but it's just something that recognizes from something I'm noticing. It kind of piggybacks off of what I've said what I was saying yesterday. We're going to talk about the Yang Gang recognition. I got a few people that text me and social media messaged me basically saying, why didn't you mention Andrew Yang? The Yang Gang is in full force, so I'm definitely going to touch a little bit on that. Also, Epstein. What is it, like 3 to 4 months after his death? New revelations. A bunch of people have had some conspiracies about this and thoughts about this. There have been a bunch of people that have said, wait, how convenient is it that he's dead now? It's a little weird. Little, like, at the right time. Wrong place for him. Also, and the big story today, want to talk about Keystone, because we are actually going to be going out there soon. We are going to be covering the Keystone pipeline. It is starting. It is really going into effect as to what is happening. And that is literally something that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to going out there and doing it. So, that being said, I am going to just remind everybody that if you are watching, please smash the like button. Please smash it. Please, like, make sure that it's good. Make sure that you are sharing. Sharing is caring. Like the video. Share the video. That's how we get rid of the YouTube suppression that is happening right now. And the YouTube suppression is happening. I've seen it happen. Yesterday, I think our peak viewership that I could see was about 450 people. When I got offline, literally as soon as I ended the stream, it said that 1,900 people were watching. I was just like, that number never came up, and I refreshed my page quite a few times. So this YouTube suppression is definitely happening, and myself and Jen and Jordan, we are working behind the scenes to figure this out. So definitely like the button, subscribe to our channel if you have not subscribed yet. That is also a good thing. And make sure that you share our videos, because that is the way we get out there. That's the way we grow and grow and grow. Little self-promotion, the GoFundMe. We haven't had a GoFundMe donation in almost 24 hours. Can we please get rid of that? Like, let's just make sure that we have a couple of donations while Jordan is gone. Even if it's $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever you can afford, it'd be greatly appreciated. We are close to our goal. We're less than $4,400, and the $4,400 is definitely going to be something that is going there. We are at $8,613, and we're very close to $85,000. So like that $85,000 has done a lot in the way of equipment. It has done a lot in the way of travel. It has done things that only are going to make this channel and this company better. But even more than that is how we grow in the long term, because how we grow in the long term when we're off of YouTube, when we're at a different distribution network, which will probably be coming because the YouTube suppression is real and big, is the membership. And membership is how we grow. Membership is how we grow long term. Membership is how we do the right things the right way. We have the Status Slayer, $5 a month, and the Coupe de Champion, $10 a month. This is going to get you access to one, our members only call, two, which was amazing, where you get to actually give us feedback and ask us questions and get inside information that nobody else is getting. But also, it's going to get you content that nobody else is seeing as well. You're gonna see interviews that you're not gonna see in the general public on the membership line from Keystone, from other places that we're going to go. Plus, it's going to allow us to go to other places that so many people have wanted us to go. The more members we have, the more stories we can cover, the more people we can hire, the more reporters can be getting out there talking to people, and that is an amazing, amazing thing. So we definitely want to make sure that that is the thing that happens. So please, like, share, donate if you can. Donate in the super chat. Jenna's in the super chat till about 1:45, and then she has to go getting ready for her kids, and I'm gonna be doing the same thing. So we're gonna try to wrap this up about 2:00. But looking forward to Halloween activities and candy and all that good stuff. So definitely, our membership right now is at 128. I would love to get it up to 800 by December 1st. To me, I think that's a realistic goal. We can do this. We could totally do this. So, definitely. Hold on one second. Definitely. So what I will say is, we got an interesting thing. I want to say that we also have a checklist. Please like the live stream, become a Status Coup member, follow us at Twitter, subscribe to our podcast, and join our email list. I got an email from Jen. Abbott Cologne. If you say puff puff pass, I'm just donating on 50 in a spot. All day, every day. Puff puff pass. Sharing is caring. It is a great thing. Bernie Sanders recently has gone on the record saying that marijuana should be legalized. I 100% agree with that. Never good to become a pothead. Never good to become dependent. But on a Friday night or a Saturday night when work is done and the kids are okay and your bills are paid and work is good, there is nothing wrong with sitting back with your loved one, watching a funny movie. I recommend Eddie Murphy's Dolomite. That was an awesome movie. I'm so glad he's coming back. Personal favorite. And literally relax and enjoy the spoils of having a good life and just enjoying life. So, with that said, we're getting right into it. Okay, the first thing I want to recognize, I got about 15 text messages and a couple of social media messages, private messages, where people were like, wait, you talked about Bernie, you talked about Elizabeth Warren and Biden, and then you mentioned a group that you said should drop out. But what happened to Andrew Yang? And I said, my response was, I considered Andrew Yang in that group that should drop out. Now, I got several of my good friends say, wait a second, he's a force, right? And I recognize the Yang gang is in full effect. I get that 100%. However, this is the thing. There's some like really, really, really great things that he's saying. I believe his intentions to be somewhat pure. I think he wants to do right. But I just think when you look at the numbers, and we're talking about specific statistics, first of all, he hasn't raised that much money compared to Bernie and Elizabeth Warren and even Joe Biden, even though Joe Biden seems to be broke now. He's not polling particularly well anywhere with any demographic, although he is doing well with the younger group. I will say that. He's doing decent with the younger group. And 100% that we are in that place where if he's not doing well, and he's not, like saying the things that are getting him the votes, how can he stay in it? And the thing that my personal issue with Andrew Yang is I definitely feel like his energy isn't there. I don't know what it is. When he talks, it's kind of like Beto O'Rourke. When Beto O'Rourke was running for Congress, there was energy, there was fire, there was so much like everything was going on. And now when Beto O'Rourke talks on these debate stages, I literally want to go, huh? What? I want to fall asleep. What happened to the vigor? What happened to the energy that when he was running for Congress against Ted Cruz? Okay? What happened to the energy? And Andrew Yang, when he talks, he's very stiff and he's very popped to the collar. And I just feel like our president, our future president, needs to be fiery, needs to have a personality, needs to be a little bit charming. I think it's part of the diplomacy that is happening. And one of the things that I say is that Andrew Yang, a little out of touch, little establishment. I see a couple of people in the chat saying kind of the same thing. But I get that people are like, he is something different. Okay. Well, let's see where that goes. I just think that he's not pro. So I had him in that group of like, hey, this is where we got to, like, he's in that group that it's time to drop out. Beto O'Rourke, Cory Booker needs to go and help fix the Newark water system. Shout out to the Newark Water Coalition if they are watching, because they are awesome people and they're doing great things. Got a chance to meet them a couple of weeks back, and they're doing great things to help their community. Booker needs to go back and say, hey, you guys need some help. We fixed it. Like fix the state you're from first. And then the rest, it's kind of like you're not doing well. It's time to drop out. Let's skim the thing. So, that being said, and Yang Gang, obviously always support who you're going to support. This is all just my opinion, but I just think that that's where I put them. So, moving on, definitely, and want to remind everybody, if you are watching and you have not hit that like button, please do so. If you have not hit the share button, please do so. That would be great. That would be awesome. So, that being said, moving on to Epstein. Just a story that recently came out that apparently they found evidence that he was murdered. All this time, everybody was saying it was suicidal. The coroner came out and said, no, there was evidence that he had 3 broken bones in his neck. Which means, and that doesn't happen from suicides. The coroner said that's kind of physically impossible. He'd have to jump off of a bridge, and even then it would be hard to do. And basically, what the story basically says, and I 100% say this is like really creepy that he's dead, but Epstein's autopsy points to homicide. And this is the New York Times reporting. Pathologist hired by the brother claims that the New York City medical examiner strongly disputed the claim that evidence from the autopsy suggested strangulation. That's the person who was hired by the city to basically give a diagnosis. Well, apparently, the forensic pathologist hired by his brother said on Wednesday that there's evidence that suggested that Mr. Epstein did not die by suicide, but might have been strangled. The new and that's kind of crazy because yes, I get it where like a lot of people would say, oh, he's hired by the brother might be telling him to say things, but that's something that when somebody brings up a contention with somebody, they have to investigate it, right? They have to find out if this is true. He was in prison, and that means if somebody strangled him, somebody killed him. That's a homicide, right? Justice needs to be served for that. Even though he wasn't exactly a good person. And the private Dr. Michael Baines said on the Morning Fox that Mr. Epstein, 66, experienced a number of injuries. Among them, a broken bone in his neck, and that's extremely unusual in suicide hangings and could occur more often commonly in a homicidal strangulation. I think that there's evidence that points to homicide rather than suicide. Okay. They go on to basically say, I stand firmly behind my decisions and determination of the case and the manner of the case. Dr. Sampson, who was the New York City doctor who diagnosed him and did the autopsy, said that in general fractures of the hyoid bone and cartilage can be seen in suicides and homicides. So there is two doctors going one-on-one. And essentially a lot of people are kind of going in this. There is a conspiracy here. A lot of people that I've spoken to when this first came out said he's a billionaire. One, he's still alive. This was totally a cover-up so that they could take him out of jail and put him on an island somewhere. He could live out the rest of his days. This man was extremely, extremely, extremely wealthy. Okay? And if that's the case, then guess what? Hey, he's out of the world. It's messed up, but none of us will ever know that. That would take some serious investigative reporting. Wait a second. Status quo. We investigate. I don't know. It could be a story for later on. 2, he had a lot of people that he dealt with who were super powerful, super rich, and did not want him in jail because for fear of talking, for fear of writing a book someday, for fear of doing something. Did they have him killed? We don't know. That's once again, it's like if you pay somebody to be killed, I'm sure you're going to pay for a lot of money with which you know is a good thing. So, the next thing I'm going to say is that could it have just been a correctional officer who said, I'm pissed off, and you're a jerk, and you're a piece of garbage. Let's take care of this. Maybe he got some money. But if there is a sliver of possibility that this is correct, that there was a homicide, not a suicide, guess what? All the conspiracy theorists out there might have a point. Might have a point to say this needs further investigation. This needs something that has to happen. And here's the thing. I bring this up because when this happened, I remember having a conversation with a good friend of mine. Shout out to Brian downstairs. He's actually my downstairs neighbor. He's actually the one who, with him and his girlfriend, had the little dog from yesterday. We had this conversation that this guy was probably murdered or still alive. Billionaires just don't stay in jail. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. It's so many cases where that happens. So, guess what? That is a story that I think is kind of interesting. That is a story that more is going to develop. And I think it's interesting because what is funny, didn't see a lick of that on CNN. Didn't see a lick of that on MSNBC. Didn't see a lick of that on anywhere except the New York Times. They didn't even bring it up. Why didn't you bring up that story? That, to me, is a lot bigger than talking about Trump 24/7. I mean, seriously. I thought that was something that should have been talked about and should have been done that. So, and once again, and I'm going to selfish person, we got 129 people watching, although I don't know if that number's accurate anymore because I thought we had 400 people watching yesterday, and it turns out it was 1,900. But if you haven't smashed the like button, smash the like button. If you haven't shared the video, share the video. Sharing is caring, okay? And definitely get to the GoFundMe page. And if you can, please donate to us, please, 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 we would love hit some milestones here. I think the next milestone would be $81,000. Let's try to do that. It's been 21 hours since the last GoFundMe. Like, let's get that going. What I want to say is that we are kind of moving along. And Status Quo, I've been here over a month, and it has been pretty amazing. One of the things that we are going to, and I definitely want to take a look and see what people are saying in the chat, because that is always an amazing thing. Yeah, I love that. I love that everybody's so passionate. I love that we're seeing what Dr. R, CNN CEO wife was picture with the Maxwell pimp. Really? That's fantastic. I love the comments. You guys out there have so much energy and so much, like, it's not too bad. So I understand also that there's a little bit of a sinking sound issue. After this broadcast, I'll definitely get on that. We wanted to fix the issues that we had yesterday when we were switching to the different media outlets, because that's something, and I heard it, went back over it, and spent some time troubleshooting. Despite the fact I'm in front of the camera, one of the things of my job is to make sure that technical problems going forward, something as simple as Jordan not pressing the mute button, as well as to going forward with like graphics and websites and things of that nature not playing well. We want to make sure we get rid of that. So we're constantly trying to evolve here at Status Quo, always. So definitely want to say, and also if you can donate in the super chat, that's what I always forget. I always forget the super chat. Donate in the super chat, $1, $2, whatever you got. Just take some change out of a sofa cushion and just put it in the super chat, and we would definitely appreciate that. Whenever there's a super chat comes up, I love it, because I get to, like when I've been in the chat, like Jen is today, I always love to say thank you, call people out, and that's a very good thing. So, want to get to something a little bit that just popped into my mind, and I sent the rundown. I like to send a rundown to Jen so she knows what I'm talking about, but this is kind of going a little off course. Wildfires in California, which is going to lead to the last topic of the day, but the wildfires in California are pretty bad. I have a friend of mine who is out there in California, Matthew, and a friend of mine, a couple other friends of mine, who are out there, and they're saying it's pretty bad. They're saying that, like, when you're driving down the highway, you can't see, like, 5 to 10 feet out in front of your car. So anybody who's in California or dealing with this, please be safe. Please try to do the things that, keeps yourself and your family safe. Remember that property and materials can be replaced. Don't try to endanger your lives. I think that's definitely something that is important. But it's, like I said, I touched on it yesterday, that once again, the environment, this is like global warming. Every single year around this time, we have forest fires happening in California, and in the forest fires that I believe are still going on in Brazil. And that was more government influenced. But at the end of the day, like, this is like the world we live in now if we don't start. So it's more environmental. And this is something that is dangerous. If you ever see a fire coming over a hill, and I've unfortunately been in that situation where a fire was coming down a mountain. I covered it a while ago, maybe 3 years ago. And it looks like, when you see it on the news and you see the helicopters flying over, it looks like the flame is kind of going like this, and it's really slow. But when you're on the ground, you could be looking at one flame, and then to your left, all of a sudden you're getting flanked by another flame, and it's coming because the wind is pushing it faster. So fire is dangerous. It's super, super dangerous. So I just want to say that if you are in California, be safe. The environment is super important, and if we don't do something, our world is not going to exist. It's going to be pretty bad. So that being said, going to another topic that relates to that, we're talking about Keystone. And we're talking about the Keystone, the Keystone pipeline, that there were several hearings over the last couple of days from people talking about things and people getting into heated discussions about things. And guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, where you see that, people who've owned land for the better part of their existence are, just not having a situation. And, one of the things that I feel that happens is that these people are, 100% involved in just trying to protect their land, and they're trying to do what's right for their family, So what I say is that a ruling happened a while back, and it was pretty close, that where basically eminent domain was instituted. So for those out there who don't know what eminent domain is, because I had heard the terminology, but I didn't know what it was, but those who don't know, that's where you own a piece of property. And imagine you're paying your mortgage, or you've paid your mortgage, and you're just paying taxes on the property for 20 years. And the government says, we need your land because we want to build a highway, or we want to build a pipeline, or we want to build something that we feel will help the public. We're going to take over your land. And I don't know about everybody out there, but I know for a fact, if I'm sitting in my house and you come into my house and say, hey, I'm going to take your TV. And I love my TV, by the way. In the middle of watching a game or something, I'm going to be kind of upset. All right? I'm going to be like, wait, no, you're not. You're not taking my property. It's my property. I've paid for it. I've worked hard to pay for it. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Like, I 100% say that this is kind of crazy. So, that is something that's going on. And there's more to it. But really quick, I just got to acknowledge, at Black Monty, thank you so much for the support. I love it. I love the positivity. I'm always going to try to bring honesty and energy and all that good stuff. So, love it. Thank you so much. I'm going to call you out. Make sure you like the button if you haven't already. And the thing is that, I don't know. I look at this situation and I say that this is a problem. I just realized I should totally have this mask up the whole broadcast. I'm just going to put it up there. That should be the Halloween thing. And what I realize is, these people are having to do this. These people are having people come over their land and say, no, this is not, this is not right. And like I said, and I want to ask everybody, let me know how you would feel if somebody did that. You're sitting in your house and somebody says, oh, I'm going to take your girlfriend, and, we feel like she'll be good for public use. I know that's a little harsh, that's a little extreme, but it's just like, these are what these people are going through. Like, there's literally a story of a woman who has a piece of land, and they took it, and she had animals. She had horses and stuff, and they said, no, the horses are now the property of the U.S. government. I was reading on this. I said, what? That's like anybody who has animals or pets or anything like that's like a member of your family. You're going to fight. You're going to be like, no, this isn't going to happen. This isn't wrong. So essentially, what I will say is that, there have been a few things that have happened, and there have been a few things that have happened. And one of those things is the United States Department of Oil Pipeline Review doesn't ease worries. And you know why? Because we have a situation here where the government was charged a few years ago to do environmental studies, and essentially this is the same old story you get. You get the government saying, well, hey, we're not sure it's going to be safe, but it's a chance we have to take because this could, if it actually works, we will be great. It'll help humanity. It'll help everyone. And then they say, but there's a chance that a couple thousand people would get sick, and not a big deal. Oh, and by the way, the couple thousand people that might get sick are a Native American reservation. Really? Is history repeating itself? Did you not learn from 200 years ago? Nice boats coming over from Europe saying, hey, teach us how to make some corn. And yeah, we're a little sick. Cough, cough. Now you're sick. Oh, but wait, now you're getting better. We're just going to slaughter you. We're just going to make you move somewhere else. It's your home, but we're going to take it over. I have friends who are British who literally say that the British Empire screwed everything up. They say this, and I just say, I laugh because I find it very humorous. But are we doing this again? Like, seriously. Like, it's 100% awesome. Like, it's 100% awesome. Lone Star Indie, love you, love the support. Thank you so much. I gotta say, I was telling friends and family that this did feel kind of comfortable. I love it. I love the energy. I love engaging with everybody. But I'll read something from it. Opponents of the Keystone XL oil pipeline from Canada said that the Trump administration is understanding the potential for the line to break and spill water bodies such as the Montana's Missouri River. And the U.S. State Department held the sole public meeting Tuesday on a new environmental review. The long-stalled proposal. Backers say the $8 billion project would create thousands of jobs, construction jobs, boost local tax revenues, and basically help the economy. And they say the energy and systems would be safe, but there's spills and other line operators by the company. And essentially, what's happening is there's a bunch of risk to try to do this. And then guess what? It doesn't work. Okay? And what happens if it doesn't work? Last year, the federal judge came out and blocked it last year and said that more study was needed. You know why more study is needed? Because sometimes the environment is not that simple. Sometimes it's a little complicated. Sometimes it's something that it's wrong. So guess what? You know what happened? I will say that it's just like that. So, I want to say thank you very much. We got 2 Status Quo donations in the Super Chat. And, in the GoFundMe. Patrick Coyne, $27. Thank you so much. Appreciate you so much. And Alexander Blaz. I hope I'm saying it wrong. Blaze? That'd be cool if it was Blaze. $10 in the GoFundMe. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So, it's essentially the Republicans have been a strong supporter and have revived the project after it was rejected under President Obama. And President Trump has reversed that, which seems very petty. It seems like everything that Obama did, he's like, just for the basis that Obama did, I'm going to reverse it. Okay, cool. But, and there have been several people that have said Keystone is a wonderful neighbor. Yes, there's a risk of spillage. We have to be willing to take that risk. It's a very minuscule chance. Okay, so if that minuscule chance happens and a couple thousand people get sick, what are you going to say then? Oh, the risk was minimal? Is that going to be your defense? Is that going to help the people when kids are getting sick and adults are throwing up and there's no way to help them? Is that going to be your thing? I don't know. So, Obama did a really thorough investigation and decided it wouldn't work. If it goes downstream, how long will it take to flush those lines out? That was the question. Well, guess what? They're talking about it would take anywhere from 5 to 10 years. Like, seriously? So there's just the U.S. government says that there's so much money to be made from oil. So much. And all they see is dollar signs. Okay? All they see dollar signs. And how many times in human history have humans been greedy? Because they would see dollar signs, right? Well, I'm going to tell you. I don't think that any risk where a place where people could get sick is a good thing. I don't. I think that whenever you have a risk that people could get sick, and especially risks like this, guess what? I don't think it's run in. I don't think it's right. It's unbelievable that the United States government is at the place where they think a risk that can infect the public is worth taking the risk to get money. Because it's all about the money. It's all about the green. It's all about what they can do, right? Well, there's a video that I want to play for everybody here. And it is about the heated discussion, okay? It's about the heated discussion that basically took place between a bunch of people in this particular domain where basically people were saying, hey, this is essentially what's going to happen. So let's hope that this works. I hope that the audio can be heard. And let's play this. Let's see what happens.
This is how you do this. And there's 4 ways to do this. I disagree with what's going on. I'm not trying to cause any trouble or anything. There's better ways to do this. I'm Dennis Teskey, Prairie County Commissioner.
No, they're not. This is not a public. This was not publicized, and this is a crappy way to do it. It wasn't publicized.
We are certainly being heard.
No, Great Sioux Nation signed treaties with the United States government under Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution. That is the treaties of the supreme law of the land. Under Article 6 of the United States Constitution. This is not consultation with the Great Sioux Nation. And that is the supreme law of the land.
Public consultation allows the public to participate after they've heard an explanation of the information. That's what NEPA anticipated. That's what the Environmental Policy Act anticipated, is that there would be a presentation of the information, and then people would have an opportunity to get up and express their support or their objections or their concerns, and other people can hear those concerns so they would know what the public sentiment is and they could respond to it. This is a very effective way to shut down that kind of dialogue and that kind of rise in the face of
the misunderstanding you have here, ma'am, is this. This has been going on for 10 years. The voices have been heard.
Yeah, and it's been rejected 3
turn,
times. Now our voices were heard.
And over all these years, in all these studies, it's been found to be fruitful benefit.
No, it hasn't. 3
our
times.
nation.
3 times. The State Department's EIS said 3 separate times that it was not in the public interest. It got denied 3 times.
Judge Morris.
And so Trump illegally brought this back
This
up.
pipeline needed more environmental study. We've had a
What are you literally, you're now fake news of Trump, right? The State Department's EIS said this was not in the public interest 3 separate times. 3.
Like 28 to 42% over not building the pipeline. That's what the EIS said. The EIS said it was going to reduce deaths every year by 6 deaths every year, is what the EIS said, versus not building the pipeline. This is going to bring in $12 million a year to school equalization that every school district in the state of Montana can use. Over the 50-year life expectancy of this pipeline, that's $300 million that every school in this state can use.
I'm not sure what's happened let me say this, I'm not sure what's happened in America when you have family farmers and ranchers who are being threatened with eminent domain for a foreign oil corporation pipeline. When in America was it okay for eminent domain to be used for private gain, on top of it, for a foreign oil pipeline? A pipeline that's going to carry foreign tar sands through our land, through tribal land, threatening our water, down to the export terminal for a refinery that is owned by Saudi Arabia. How is that in the America's interest?
The Prairie County Commissioners are mediators for farmers and ranchers in Macomb County, Prairie County, Dawson County, and Fallon County. We brought them all together. We talked to TransCamp. They were welcome if they wanted to
They were not invited. I'm the attorney for the Fort Peck tribes, and we were not invited.
Ranchers and farmers, they had no legal representation. They came in and they sat down with us. They had questions and answers with TransCanada personnel.
TransCanada never met with the tribes on our reservation lands. They have never come and had a consultation about any of these issues on tribal lands.
When it was all said and done, the spokesman called me back and said,
It even happened without
Mr.
driving in there.
Devlin, they have they have treated us more than fair. And that was a quote, more than fair. We said we were satisfied with that. We wanted to make sure our landowners were satisfied with it, and when they were, we left it be and supported it.
Landowners aren't satisfied with this. They get bullied. Landowners, when they are faced with TransCanada coming knocking on their door, they are told, if you don't sign the contract, your land will be taken through eminent domain. How is that a fair process?
Ma'am, I'm a landowner in Prairie
Yeah, and I
Johnson
work
County.
with landowners, and so
And
I'm
I feel
finding
that-
some landowners
excuse me.
totally like it.
Keystone has treated me more than fair. Keystone calls when they come on my
Yeah.
property. Heaven forbid, Hunter calls a week before they're going to come visit my property. Keystone calls and they're going to visit. When Keystone calls and they're going to visit. Keystone leaves my property, goes to the next parcel of my property. Keystone cleans their equipment. Even under the air compressor, they have it is not in the environment. Keystone doesn't put the best foot forward of any neighbor that I have.
I think they're holding hands. Leaving not only their pasture ground totally not workable, but they had to then take TransCanada to court. So now you look at me, I gave them the respect TransCanada had to take them to court in order to get their house refurbished because they were sewage lines. So there was literally raw sewage in their home because the way that TransCanada construction workers weren't treating their land properly. And so I get that some people like TransCanada, but for those that don't, they shouldn't be forced to give up their land. Tribes shouldn't be forced to have sovereign right in their treaty rights trampled on for a foreign oil pipeline. That does nothing help America.
I don't know if I understand that.
Yeah. No, it's not
40%, one individual customer. We have like 2,100 years. It's huge to our local. It's huge to our county. For student BG2. We have just a ventilation area.
So, and I understand at the end we had a little bit of an audio issue there, but that is the gist of the meeting. What you have, as many of you understood, so first and foremost, let's just get out of the way what we're talking about here. There are no people under the age of like 40 years old in that meeting. So 20 to 40 really don't have a voice in this topic. And I'm sure they're affected by it. So right away, no young people, no voice. It's only landowners. Fine. Then what I noticed about this is that there is a split between one half of the room that says, well, I was treated fair. I was treated the best of my ability by this United States government to make sure that my land was taken care of, to make sure that everything was good, right? To make sure that everything that was 100% that you could think of to have a landowner give their land up willingly was done. And those people are also echoing what the government is saying. It's going to create jobs. It's going to bring money to the region. It's going to be money we could use for schools and building new buildings and helping our land. And it's going to make us a better society. And then you have another side of the room that's saying, do you realize there's a chance people can get sick? Do you realize that they came onto my land and just seized my land? Do you realize I wasn't even invited to several meetings that were super, super, super important? There are lawyers on the record that represent tribes that are basically saying, we didn't know a meeting was happening. We didn't know. That's what's happening. That's what's going on all the time. So here's my question, and I'll put this out to the audience that's watching. And by the way, 203 people watching. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. If you want to share the video, please share the video. Sharing is caring. Guess what? Who do you believe? The people who are getting fair, like, land offers and treated fairly, who happen to be 60 plus and, Caucasian, or the people who are having vocal complaints, legal complaints on the record and just happen to be Native Americans, a lot of Native American tribes and things of that nature. I'm going to be honest with you. I considered that I believe in both. I believe that there are some people that got treated fairly. I believe that there are some people that feel like this is the best thing. But I also believe that there's a lot of people that are just being screwed over. That's the best way to put it. You're being screwed over. And how are they going to build this pipeline without having the pipeline go through people's properties? Look, Nebraska and South Dakota, I've never been there. We're going to go there in a couple of weeks, and we're going to give you some interviews, and we're going to be talking to people, and there's going to be a lot of perspectives, a lot of different information. So you're going to see that. Some of the videos and interviews are going to be members only. Join if you haven't joined. But I will tell you right now, I'm sure Nebraska and South Dakota, as big as they are, you can't build this pipeline without seeing people's lands, without digging into their lands. And I'm sure that it's not convenient. I'm sure that if you see somebody's house in the way of this pipeline, you're just going to say, oh, I'm going to just move it over. We're going to just go around the house. Really? Has the government ever done things that is inconvenient for them, but is convenient for the people they're trying to do? I've never seen that. They always take the easy way out. Always take the quickest way out. They don't think, as long as it's cheaper, quicker, and easier, the government goes, bam, let's do it. That's the best route. Doesn't matter about the risk. That's it. That's just history. That's just the course of the United States government going back to the very first day it was founded. We take the easy way out when it comes to government. I'm not saying everybody does it. I'm not saying people do that. And there are some people do that. I will admit I've done that myself. Okay? But what I will say is that at the end of the day, what you are seeing is you're seeing a situation where there's two tails of the tape, and one of the tails kind of falls in line with the history of the United States government. It just happens. It's like, do we forget that, during civil rights, the United States government was like, no, we're not going to give you rights. We're not going to do this. Why? Because and so many people said this on the record, it breaks up the natural order of things. Really? Okay. It's a little scared of change, a little scared of evolution, scared of progression, That's what government has been. So why would we believe the guys who, treated fairly? I don't know how many times have happened in several situations where government comes and says, hey, we'll give you a check, sign this non-disclosure agreement, and just talk well about us as a publicity. I don't know. It's happened. It's happened many times. So hearing this and hearing the people talk about this, and I want to say, I believe there was a few people that said thank you and that I'm doing a great job. I appreciate it so much. There are a few people that are being screwed over and not being treated right. There are those people, and they're here. So I just want to say this is a story that we're going to continue to cover. We're going to cover. This is something that is not going away. And here's the bottom line. It's a bottom line that affects pretty much every American, because I'm going to tell you right now, we need to move from fossil fuel. That's a common sense thing. Common sense says if there is a way to fuel our cars, which we need, fuel our airplanes and our buses and our and transportation and our trucks, because we need to get food, we need to get around the country and everything. Without fossil fuels, let's go. Tesla has developed trucks that are basically electric. Let's start getting with that, right? That's a no-brainer. Electricity is just as powerful as gas most of the time. Technology has bridged that gap where gas used to be up here and electricity used to be here. Now it's like this. Electricity is catching up. And it's cleaner and it's safer. We need to get very, very away from fossil fuels. It's a common sense thing. I don't understand it. But you know what's happening? And I don't understand why Exxon and BP and Shell and all these companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies that have the resources to take money on R&D, if I was them, if I was the owner of Exxon, I'd be like, you know what? There's an opportunity to make trillions. Let's be on the forefront of electricity and solar power and wind power and water power and nuclear power. Let's be on that. Let's be on that front line, and we'll be the pioneers. And guess what? We're going to benefit in the long run. Why have they not figured that out? It's common sense. If you are innovative, people love you. Especially if you are innovative and helping people do what's happening. If you're helping society move forward and evolve, that's it. And Keystone, the people in charge of Keystone, Donald Trump saying, hey, this is what, hey, this is going to be great. Oh my God, we're going to have so much money. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's going to bring jobs. That's what? It's going to bring jobs and make people sick. Like, dude, where's your humanity? Like, I don't even understand that. I don't understand it. I don't get it. And at the end of the day, I feel bad for these people, and we're going to get there. And when we get there, obviously, we're going to hit the ground, and obviously, we are going to totally, cover this from a perspective of what's happening and what's going on. But I want to say that, I want to say that at the end of the day, you can't, convince people of what they're doing wrong when they're doing it wrong. And unfortunately, and I'm scared to say this, but human beings have never learned unless something bad happens. I saw a documentary a couple of weeks ago, or actually a couple months ago, where they talked about the idea of leading up to Hiroshima bombing the Japanese in World War II. And their idea was that if we invaded Japan, we were going to lose millions of people, and we had already lost millions of people in World War II. So they said, let's drop these bombs. And they said, this is the right way to do it. And right after the bombs were dropped, they did not know the extent of the damage that was going to happen. They thought 10,000 people were going to die. Close to 100,000 died. And that devastation shocked the world. And thankfully, that's why I believe we haven't had another situation like that. Thankfully. We don't need that. But at the end of the day, look at what it took to shock the world into, let's do some things a little bit better. I fear that what's going to happen here is that in order for people to figure it out and realize this is not right, guess what? Something bad's going to have to happen. A reservation is going to be poisoned. And by the way, this reminds me of Flint in the sense that 5 years later, people are still poisoned. And guess what? People are not waking up from that. It's happening in Newark. What? Unbelievable. I just can't figure it out. I can't figure out that as human beings why we want to do this. So I couldn't go to sleep at night with that on my conscience that I might be poisoning kids. I look at my son's face and I look at my daughter's face, and every single day I realize I want to be better and better and better for them. I want to evolve. I want to be open-minded. I want to make sure that I understand every perspective. I'm all for, I want civilizations and society to progress and get better homes and get better opportunities and be innovative and have energy that is going to supply the world so that everybody can read. People that don't have electricity right now can read and engage in family activities and have a good life. I would love for everybody to have that. But fossil fuels are not the way to do it. Come on, dude. We're 2019. I thought we were supposed to be in the Jetsons by now. Where's the floating cars? Where's everything on fusion and electric power? Well, we're not getting there because everybody's stuck in the 19th century. So it's pretty horrible. So I 100% love all the comments in the chat. Several people. So Kimberly S, 100,000 is nothing when we can kill 1 million in Iraq. Absolutely. I obviously death tolls have raised because weapons have gotten more sophisticated. You know, like, look, war is not the answer. We should have never been in Iraq. I don't think Iraq was ever a severe like threat. That was a Bush war. That was Bush trying to pick up for his dad, and you know, God rest his soul, because I don't like anybody to die. You know, presidents die. It's sad, but you know, that was definitely something that shouldn't have happened. So I definitely agree with that. A lot of people saying Bernie, you know, is the way to go. I agree with you. Bernie Sanders is going to fight this, and Bernie Sanders is going to be the person who's going to be like fighting for Green New Deals and trying to get, and Keystone. I would imagine Bernie Sanders within the first couple of weeks, executive order, Keystone stops. I see that, and I think that's why Bernie Sanders, he knows it. He knows about it. He's spoken about it. He's against it. And, you know, that's why that man, in his mind, he just wants to help society and humanity become better. And that's what we need. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. So many people. Like, you guys are, it's I love at Peaceful Warrior, John Paris. Yep, yeah, our past administration since Nixon basically said, China, we're tired of being world superpower. You take the lead. Yeah. You know, I will say that United States should be in the lead. I believe that. But that doesn't mean we have to be bothered and nosy in everybody's business. There are some situations that people need to figure out themselves. Offer medical aid, help them out where we can, bring them to the diplomatic table. Those are the things. But like, the fact that I've had people who have been in the military and have said, hey, the people of these countries don't want us there. They want to handle things themselves, whatever that may entail. You know what? I know for a fact that sometimes you got to let people iron out their differences. You can't get involved in every single thing. So like, I definitely see United States needs to lead by example, and you know, we got to fix a lot of things at home, you know, that are not great. And that's just me personally. Help where we can. I'm all for that. But, you know, we need to worry about ourselves. Sven de Sutter. Gotta love the Trump impression. I love doing that. God, he's so ridiculous. But yes. I got another agonistic. Why does a country have to be the world leader? Well, you know what? That's a great question. I personally believe it shouldn't be just one country. I believe that it needs to be the United Nations should be bigger and more prominent than it is. I always said that the United Nations is actually not a bad idea. The vision is there, having the leading countries of the world coming together to help this world be better. The problem is that you got countries on the United Nations Security Council that are just not nice people, you know, and those people know who they are, you know. So I tend to believe that the United States, what we represent, a mix of cultures. Like if you go to China, I've been to Hong Kong, it is not a mix of cultures. And it's a great culture, and it's a great city, and it's a great country. Like they have something like spiritual culture that is amazing. If you guys haven't seen the movie Hero, Hollywood depiction, but it was actually a very good movie with Jet Li, and it was a very serious movie, but great movie. They have a sense of culture, but there's no mix of culture there. It's Chinese people. It's 90%, 95% Chinese people, which is fine. It's their country, but at the end of the day, Russia is the same way. It's Russians. It's not a mix of people, you know? London, Paris, several other countries around the world, Canada, and then the United States. We have a mix of cultures. United States has every type of person, and it was designed to be a haven for the world. And we should be a leader because we represent what the rest of the world kind of should be. And I'm not talking about the government stuff. I'm just talking about the idea of, like, you know, people coming together despite their differences, respecting religious and beliefs. And that's what we should be. But, you know, government doesn't allow that to happen. They say, well, we should be that as long as we allow it. That's kind of the way it is. I just feel that we need somebody, and I believe Bernie Sanders so far has been that guy who genuinely believes that the world can be what it can be. So sometimes people call me a little naive. I hope for the day, hopefully I get to see it in my lifetime. Hopefully my kids get it, where The United States is a beacon of hope for the rest of the world to accept people for their differences and just embrace them, you know? I actually had an experience in my life where I actually went into a Native American sweat hut because I was getting in touch with that side of my heritage, and it was an amazing experience. Like, it was an amazing experience. I've also been into a synagogue where a friend of mine who's Jewish said, "Why don't you come by and just take it in?" And I said, "Fine." I've also been into a temple, Islamic temple, and it was an experience. Of course, I've been to Catholic church. My mother is Catholic, and I've been to a Baptist church, of course, and you know, you'd see the different cultures, and you know what's funny? They're all praying about the same thing. I want my family to be good. I want my loved ones to be good. I want to prosper. Please give me the strength. That's literally every religion. So, you know. But, want to tell everybody, I'm seeing so much support. Puppet Image, like this dude, love you. Thank you for the support. David Massell, yay Joseph, yay you. Like, you guys are tuning in, and that's awesome. I am going to start wrapping up here. That way people could get on. Dr. R, we finally radicalized Joseph. I don't know that, but I definitely have always been open-minded. I'm open-minded about humanity. So, but definitely I appreciate all people of all walks of life. I think it's the way you should be. You should embrace culture and embrace people, and then you learn a lot. It's worked well for me. I don't judge people by color. I judge people by sports teams. Okay, if you like the Dallas Cowboys, I don't know. There's a problem. Giants fan here. So, but that being said, Mastermind coming around. Maybe I'm coming around. Once again, definitely want to say to everyone, okay, that, you know, if you haven't or can donate in the GoFundMe, we are at $80,650. We'd love to get to $80,700. That would be amazing if we can get there. That's a good thing. Also, if you have not joined, that's how we grow in the long term. You know, there's the membership prices on the screen. And like I said, this is going to get you so much content that we have not done, that we are going to give, that we're not giving just to the general public. It's going to be so much content that is going to give, that you're going to see as a member only. Plus our members call once a month where you get to voice and talk and debate and things of that nature. Also, cool things start coming around with that. That could evolve too. And I genuinely believe that you will get the right thing out of this. Right now, we are at 720 members, 28 members, and I would love to get us up to 730, 740 within the next couple of weeks. That would be great. And like I said, when we're covering that Keystone stuff, members are going to get extra bonuses that you guys are going to see. Even if you're just on the $5 membership, you're going to get those bonuses. Also, if you have not liked us, shared us, if you have not joined us, follow us on Twitter, please do that. Follow me on Twitter at RealJFrancis. I'm always going to post the status quo materials, so you'll see that. I'm also at RealJFrancis on Instagram, so definitely follow me there. And you could follow me on Facebook, Joseph Russell Francis. That's my middle name, Russell. That's the Trinidadian side, is Joseph Russell Francis, and I'm the third. So definitely bringing you to that. Love you all. It's been really cool. When you're out having a good time for Halloween, enjoy yourselves. Trick or treat. Nothing wrong with eating a little candy yourselves. I love it. I love it. I love it. So please, happy Halloween. Be safe and keep those chats coming. Keep those likes coming. Share this video. Donate in the GoFundMe. Join our members. Trust me, it will be worth it. You guys have a great Halloween, and it was a pleasure doing this today. Talk to you soon.